Here's something for you. We're going on a guitar safari.
No, what I really am going to do is I'm going to try to see what kind of trade value I can get for this here in London.
Sam's going to play it for us. That's where the Rolling Stones recorded their first album.
This is that place.
Gioconda Cafe is now where Flatiron Steak Restaurant is. It's where David Bowie came up with the idea of Ziggy Stardust.
This has definitely got it. It's gorgeous, isn't it?
It looks good on you too.
No, it does. That's the problem, isn't it? Hello, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. So, something completely different today. We're out of the studio, out of our comfort zone. We're going on a guitar safari.
Welcome aboard the C2C rail service to Fenchurch Street, calling at Langdon, West Horndon, Upminster.
So I guess this is the last part of our journey with the Epiphone Korina Flying V. You remember the one? It arrived with a broken headstock and we repaired it, didn't we? Well, I've arranged to trade this for something else. Mike McWilliams from the Upstairs to the Right Music YouTube channel, he reached out. He's flying over from Amsterdam today. I'm meeting him in London and we're going to do a swap. He's got something that I fancied and he said, well, I'll take the Epiphone Flying V off your hands. Of course, I'm carrying a stupidly large Flying V case, so I get a taxi to London's West End, where I've arranged to meet Mike at the Soho Theatre. I've managed to borrow an upstairs room where we can film us swapping the guitars, and I suggest to Mike that then we can leave them there, and I can show him around Denmark Street. It's like 5 minutes walk away, so I thought we could have a good old wander around, look at some guitar porn. He then springs on me, he's got a bit of a plan of his own.
One thing that we do have to do is we do have to go to 28 Denmark Street.
What's at 28 Denmark Street?
There's an Epiphone that I'm going to try to trade this Epiphone for.
Okay. Ah. That was news to me. I had no idea. He's not going to keep this guitar. He wants to trade it in a shop in Denmark Street for something else.
I'm not. Yeah.
Well, that'll be interesting, given that that's got a broken headstock.
Exactly.
Who's at 20? I'm thinking, well, it's not going to be much, is it? It's.
But I just looked up and looked around and
honestly, if I'd known that that was his plan, I'm not sure I would have let him do it. It's kind of too late now.
No, what I really am going to do is I'm going to try to see what kind of trade value I can get for this here in London. We'll see. We'll see. I don't. They may take it. They may not want it. We'll have to see. All right, and yours, of course, you'd like to take a look at.
Yeah.
And I'll give you the pleasure of opening it up yourself.
Paisley case.
That happened on the airplane ride today.
It's all in one piece still, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a result in itself. Oh, yeah. See, I saw this online.
Yeah.
I looked on their website after you did your first review.
Yeah.
And I saw this and I thought, yeah, that looks nice.
Yeah, it's a little bit, you know.
It's different. Oh, and it's light, and you said it was about 8.5 pounds.
And it's actually a little bit lighter than that, to tell you the truth, but somewhere around 8.5, maybe 8.4, 8.5. But I point you to the fact that this is a single truss rod. And the reason they're able to get away with this Les Paul standard exact body design is these are licensed by Gibson.
So tell me, how do you mean licensed by? They're licensed.
So they have
by
an
Gibson?
agreement with Gibson to be able to recreate their headstock and because the headstock's the main thing, and to create these bodies more similar to like a Les Paul standard USA model.
And tell me about Vox Humana.
So Vox.
So and they don't produce many of these.
No, as a matter of fact, you're holding one of 4. I own 3 of them. One guy got one away from me, but yeah, they only made 4 of these, and they made it, and again, just to try to. It came out the same time that Epiphone was upping their ante, and they said to themselves, "Well, why don't we get a factory in Japan to produce the bodies? We'll ship it over here. We'll put the electronics and all the parts, together on it, and let's see if we can outdo Epiphone." And I think they did. I think their only problem is that nobody knew about these. And the only reason I found out about it is because I stumbled across one at a music store when I was out doing my
In Holland.
In Holland, yes.
Netherlands.
And I said, "Wow, this is fantastic." I got my first one secondhand, then I went to the shop and I bought this one firsthand. So I was super impressed with this.
I like the idea of it because it's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I got rid of my Lazarus and I got rid of my 59.
This is
way
really
back.
weird seeing you in person, by the way.
But we know each other.
Yeah, I know.
We know each other.
Me
And
too.
it's not that weird, is it? Really?
No, we actually
It's like,
comfortable.
yeah. We're just the same, aren't we?
Well, let's call it. That's right.
We're exactly the same as we are on the YouTube.
Yeah, actually, I am. I'm too old to have any pretense.
Yeah, I'm just, you couldn't make that stuff up, mate.
No.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So yeah.
Well.
So what I plan on doing in my
I put this on reverb.
Yeah.
No one actually. I did have a couple of lowball offers, and then when you reached out,
Yeah.
and I reached out to you actually, didn't I? And I said, "Will you be interested in trade?" You said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And I didn't think for 1 minute you'd be interested.
Well,
in...
I thought about this, and the reason I thought about this is because I know that without a broken headstock, this is actually a guitar of value.
Yeah.
And this guitar right here has a value of 850 euros.
Yeah.
This right here with the broken headstock has a value of somewhere around 795 euros, as I said. So there's a bit of 50 euros difference, but it doesn't really kill me. If I can get this today to a shop, and if I can get somewhere close to that, plus some cash on a trade-in, I think we'd both be doing a lot better.
Well, we'll see. But don't forget you've got the certificate of authenticity as well to go with it,
Yeah.
and the case candy.
Yeah. Well, I think what I'm going
joking.
to try to do is blitzkrieg them and say, "Hey, look, this is a nice guitar, and here's the original owner here."
What we'll do then, okay, is I'll leave this here,
Yep.
okay, out of the way,
Okay.
and then we can go down there. And as I say, I've already spoken to a couple of shops and they said we can film. So I can follow you in and I can film you trying to trade that for something.
All right,
That'd be fun.
Let's do that. I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
I don't suspect much luck.
So we rock over to Denmark Street, armed with a broken and repaired Flying V and an iPhone. The shop that Mike was talking about was 6060 Sounds, which is on the corner at the far end. And we meet Jan, the owner, and Sam.
Something like this, we could take a punt on consignment and try and get it nearer to where you were hoping. And you know, maybe someone does come in and they do pay that bit more for it. So I would say, I always try and give people like super honest advice.
I appreciate
Get the gist, he's offering to sell it on a commission basis to give Mike the best deal possible, basically.
But
Where did you get it from?
we just traded it for something.
Yeah, I just did a trade with him for a guitar that I brought over from Amsterdam.
Oh no.
No, it's all right. Like I said.
Oh, no, he eyes wide open.
I know,
no
I'm
worry.
wide open on it.
So while they're talking numbers, I'm just having a look around at some of the wonderful guitar porn on the wall. As you can see, it's pretty much all Gibson and Epiphone in this place. Some nice stuff in here.
I would say that's your best bet. Because like, it is a really nice guitar, it plays great. There's a funny backstory behind it now, which always helps when you're selling.
I'm going to put it on consignment here. I think they've got a lot more walkthrough. If I put it on reverb, the fact of the matter is it's just going to get passed on.
And they're quite.
Well, the thing is, by the time
percentage.
you know, if you get 7 or 8 for it, which is feasible.
I kind of indicated at this point to him that if he wasn't happy with the deal, I would, you know, be happy not to do it. But he was happy. So I didn't push it.
I'm not going to get that kind of money out of it. I'm not. And I went into this wide open. I understand that. Like I said, I understand I'm taking a loss here of about 300. About 300.
I'm not going to feel guilty.
I love this guy. But I like to do that. Let's do that. So just put it on consignment here.
Sam's going to play it for us. We've got to get our money's worth, man.
Yeah, might as well.
Look at this stuff.
And this is the point where I just noticed the wall of SGs at the back there. So we'll have a quick look at those before I leave. I'll put a link to 6060 Sounds Instagram in the description box. You've got to follow them. Sam there and Jan and all of the crew there. They do loads of playing. They dress up. There's loads of playing in the shop and in the street and all over the place. So make sure you follow them. They're brilliant. So deal's done. Mike says he's happy, so he must be happy. And that leaves us hands-free to go and explore. So first, next door to Denmark Street Guitars or Hanks or whatever it's called. Famous place. Quick detour past the acoustic floor because I'm not really into them, as you might know.
This is just.
And this is just chock full of the most amazing gear, porn. To this back wall here, this is just full of all the sort of stuff that us old blokes might have learnt on old Hofners, K's. There's Baldwin guitars here, Burns guitars here. Guitar spotters, let me know in the comments what you can see. I think there's a wall of red specials here. Beautiful old amps. Lovely old twin reverb. What's that, a Gibson Marauder or something? Tellys, Les Pauls. It's an eclectic mix of stuff here. Strats, lots of Strats. boxes. Lovely old AC30 there. Oh, look, yeah, vintage Columbus. If you can get to London Denmark Street, I urge you to go and visit Hank's and have a look at some of this stuff yourself. Leave your camera out of it. Just leave it so you can actually look and take it all in and properly appreciate what's in that room. And it's not all the high-end expensive stuff either. It's interesting stuff. Then we cross the road to Regent Sounds, which used to be a studio.
That's where the Rolling Stones recorded their first album.
This is that place.
In these four walls, Rolling Stones recorded their first album, a few singles. Black Sabbath recorded Black Sabbath and Paranoid. Had Tony confirm that for both, all done in this room. This is the original parquet flooring, to what they would all stood on, and the same ceiling tiles. So it's a cool little thing in these four walls. You also had Tom Jones, he did Unusual. You had Hendrix kicked out in '67 for being too loud. You had the demo take of You Really Got Me done in here. Early demos of Band of Joy. Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones both did early sessions in here. John Martin recorded the Tumbler. He's actually got another list. Just a few people to know: Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, David Bowie, Elton John, Black Sabbath, Little Richard, Stevie Wonder, The Who, Yardbirds, Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, John Paul Jones, The Kinks, David Gilmour, Hot Chocolate, Michael Chapman, The Animals, The Bee Gees, Tom Jones, Genesis, The Small Faces, such as Cat Stevens, Slade, Status Quo, Joe Meek, John Martin, Donny Hathaway, yeah.
They all used to hang out at the cafe at the...
Which is called the Gioconda.
Where was that?
The Gioconda Cafe is now where Flatiron Steak Restaurant is. It's where David Bowie came up with the idea of Ziggy Stardust.
And this building next door was a flat that people still understand.
No, so that would be next door. That would be the association with Sex Pistols. And that was actually not in the building. It's in the building behind that building. So in number 6, there's a little mezzanine behind there, and that's where Steve Jones is living.
And that was Jack at Regent Sounds. Mate, that was brilliant. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Appreciate that.
Now, I've arranged to meet a man about some Tokais, so next 2 shops are going to have to give them a miss. At number 5, we've got One Joe Guitars, and at number 6, where the Sex Pistols used to rehearse incidentally, is No Tom Guitars. I've frequented and bought guitars in both of those places, and I can highly recommend both of them. Hopefully we can come back another time for a look around inside. But for now, we're off to Rose Morris, which is a few doors along, to meet Mike there, who's gonna talk us through some Japanese Tokais that I've been wanting to have a look at for some time. I have a phobia about playing in guitar shops, but I think I might have just got over it.
Playing in front of cameras to a massive audience.
Plug it in for me, because I'm actually enjoying just doing noodling on that. It feels really good. I love this.
The neck?
Oh, it's good, man.
Yeah, because it is like a mixture of a 50s and a 60s.
I have no idea if this camera's even in the right position, but I think it's. I can actually. I'm monitoring it. I can actually see the screen. I think we're both in shot, which is about as best I can hope for. Feels great though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to play something?
Yeah, 'cause one of my favourite things about them is they're just true PA voice. So they are really low output, but they're super responsive. And then they will just clean up. Because we bought in 2016 Les Paul Traditional, spent way too much money on it. Yeah. But I bought it in just to have as like a direct comparison to these, and that Gibson sold more Tokais for me than I could have sold them myself. Even down to the pickups on the the 2016 traditional were so hot and just had that compressed kind of fizziness. And these guys, they, even if you do crank the gain up fully, you get so much clarity and note definition, and it's just, they're just a joy. Although 16-year-old me would have hated them, you know, but then again, I was playing a Jackson, Randy Rhoads, Metallica tribute band.
Ah, were you?
Oh yeah.
I never got into the pointy guitars myself at all.
Oh, I lasted about a year.
Could you talk about the changeover from polyurethane to nitro?
So with this range, with the 129 and the 136, you do get the poly finish on it. You get 2-piece mahogany back on it. And then, as opposed to the next models up, you get which comes with a brass saddle, comes with the orange drop capacitors. The pickups are exactly the same. I just think the 129 and the 136 just has a little bit more low end, just because it's a bit heavier.
Is it heavier, physically heavier? As well?
Well, the 150 definitely is like a little bit lighter.
Because this is good weight. That's about 8.5 pounds, isn't it? Probably.
Give or take. And that's the thing, like, they've all been relatively in the ballpark of this weight, because I think, like, with Tokai, when they first started doing their copies, they kind of bought all the original Gibsons and Fenders and just kind of reverse engineered them. And at that time,
That's what they weighed.
yeah, that's it, because they were using old, mature wood. Like, guitars weren't mass produced, and that's kind of when the 70s kicked in, is when Fender and Gibson, they
Didn't
kind
care
of
anymore,
fall to shite, because, well, they just didn't know how to mass produce. And Tokai then kind of went, well, these are how they were made, and these are why everyone wanted them, and just kind of replicated to them. They've just been a joy. I know I will never buy a new Gibson.
Well, I had a Les Paul Standard, a Cherry Burst one, which was I think it was a 20 or 2019 maybe. I sold it in the end because I didn't love it. This is easily better.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just tell. I don't know. It's the weight to start with, you know, okay, that's nice. The other one was a little bit heavier, you know, maybe getting on for £9. But you just know straight away, it's just, sorry.
Yeah. Well, like, and that is the thing. Like, from 16 years of selling guitars now, my advice to anyone when they come in is, like, if you don't like it in like 10 seconds, then you don't like it. You should never have to force yourself to justify a guitar or the price of something if it doesn't give you that, like, immediate wow factor.
This has definitely got it.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
It looks good on you too, you know.
No, it does. That's the problem, isn't it? But, you see, okay, well, you take it back for a second. Do you want to grab the other one as well, actually?
Yeah, sure.
And keep telling us everything you can about what's happening, and, you know, because these things aren't easy to find. Why? So you're the only dealer in the UK now, maybe?
No, there's a few other shops. We definitely will be the largest.
Yeah.
You still have to fight the brand loyalty thing. Like, if we had a wall full of Fenders and Gibsons, people would just buy them. The big thing that we found, like, the people who would be willing to try it, and the majority of people who have bought them tend to be amazing players who know once they have something of quality in their hands that it's something to worth parting their money with. Was a lot of the people who have come in and kind of were a little bit apprehensive to try it, and then try it, may have only been playing like a few months and just are lucky enough to have the money and will want a Fender or a Gibson because they are an accolade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a rite of passage, isn't it? Really,
yeah.
actually.
But for us, it is great. It does kind of mean we have to do our job and we have to sell them. But what I have found with every single one of the Japanese ones out of the box, they're set up perfectly. The fretwork is sublime on it. The action is perfect. There's never been any dead spots. You get a hand-cut bone nut. The headstock angle is more akin to a PRS, so you better...
Is it a different angle to Gibson?
Yeah. Yes.
What's the angle of this, you remember?
I don't know exactly what it is, but it is not as severe.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you do get better tuning stability, and obviously there's less chance of the headstock snapping off if, you know.
I know a lot of people will push back on this price. This one, the ticket price is $16.99. But if you get in touch with Mike, he'll cut you a deal.
I'll add another zero.
This one's cheaper.
Yeah, so that one, it's £100 cheaper because it has the plain cap on it, whilst this then has the flame veneer.
So which one would you go for? Yeah, me too. Violin all day. Are you like this?
Well, you see...
Well, you were in pointy guitar land as well.
I was, but this is kind of the...
That's the green. That's definitely a greeny.
For me, it just kind of brings me to Guns N' Roses mode.
Oh yeah, that's definitely is it Appetite Burst?
Yeah. Or whatever.
You want more
riff is.
gain for that? Hang on.
Yeah.
You got more gain now.
Better remember how to
Here
play
we go.
it. Fuck.
Thank you very much for giving us this whistle stop tour of Tokai.
Yeah.
And the trouble is now I've got to find a way of. And that's the dilemma, isn't it? The gas is rising. Thanks again to Mike at Rose Morris in London for that. I'll put a link in the description box. If you want to try a Tokai, that's the place to go. Not just the Les Paul types, but S types, T types, ES types. I believe they do the lot. So check out the website and you know where to find them. Now, back to the one that I brought home on Friday. This one here. The Stoner by Vox Humana. So what's it like? Well, I'll be honest, I didn't have massive expectations for this guitar. I knew I liked the look of it. I thought that's quirky. I fancy that. The trade was on the table, so I thought, yeah, give it a go. Mike rated it. I'll put a link to his review in the description box. He's done a review of this guitar and the other Stoner that he bought before this one. He sold his Epiphone 59 after getting the first one. So, you know, that was expecting something, but it's just way better than that. It's Monday now. I haven't put it down all weekend. I've been playing it all weekend. It just feels really good, and it sounds really good, and it is really good. I think the only thing it seems to have in common with the Epiphones is it's got a maple veneer on it. Apart from that, no. I mean, so Vox Humana, as far as I can work out, it's a Dutch company. It's a guitar. I think it's just I don't know if it's just guitars, but it's a guitar workshop, and they make custom guitars to order, I believe, and they sell guitar parts. And this Stoner range was as Mike said in this film, is just a small run that they made to try it out. And it appears what they've done is they've imported the parts, I suppose, and put them together. But what you've got here, apart from the maple veneer, which is probably the only, well, I don't know if it's a downside, but I'm going to say it's the only, ooh, is it maple veneer? People sneer at it. It's the only thing that you might sneer at. It's got Goto hardware. Oh, well, the buttons are a little bit green. Yeah, I'm going to say that was the only other thing that I wasn't massively keen on. Just the colour of the tuner buttons, but they go to vintage deluxe tuners, which are good ones. They're good ones, and it's go-to hardware. I haven't looked inside it yet. We'll have a quick peek inside today. I'm not going to take the strings off and the pickups because this film's been pretty long already. And I don't want to try your patience too much. We might do that another time. But the neck, it's got a rosewood fingerboard. It's got really well appointed frets. It's got a beautiful Tusk XL nut. And it's got coil splits as well, which I
I forgot. Let's weigh it. As you might know, weight of a Les Paul is always a big deal for me. So let's see how this one stacks up. Yeah, 8 pounds, 7 ounces. 3.83 kilos. I mean, I knew it felt good. It's a winner. Now, I've actually printed out the specs for this exact guitar from the Vox Humana website. 899 euros it was listed for. And yeah, the pickups, these are called Tone Driver Alnico 5 PAFs. Tone Driver, not to be not to be confused with Tone Rider, which are, I think, the ones that everyone knows. Tone Driver. Don't know if they're custom made for Vox Humana. Mike suggested they were made in Korea, so they might be, you know. But anyway, that's what they are. Tone Driver Alnico 5 PAFs. That's what these are called. Let's take some readings and see what they are. We'll start with the bridge, and that is reading 8.07K, and the inductance is 4.43 Henrys. Over to the neck, 8.08K, almost identical. Probably is identical, isn't it? 4.4 Henrys, 4.39, 4.4 Henrys. So they're the same, really, aren't they? Now, it has got coil split, so let's just take a middle reading. 4.04K. And as I said, it has got what they call tunable coil splits. We'll look at that in a minute. What's tunable? We'll find out. So if I split the bridge, 8.07 on full hum, I split that at 6.91. I'm going, I don't know what it means, but neck, 8.08K humbucker, split it, 4.14. Oh. Well, I don't. Let's look in the cavity and see what that means. Tunable coil splits, shall we? And have a look at the watts. Look at the watts in there. It's CTS watts, I believe. It says here, CTS USA watts, Switchcraft USA toggle. Okay, let's have a look. Screening. Don't see that very often, do you? That's like the late 60s and, well, definitely late 60s Gibsons had all this. They used to go to town. My 69 Junior got a real good screening job. Yeah, and this is a gold foil, isn't it? There you go. CTS pots. Oh, orange drop capacitors, and obviously push pulls for these tunable coil splits. There you go. I hope there's enough light on that so you can see what that looks like properly. So it seems to have a little little slot for a screwdriver there. Look at that. That would fit. Ooh. I'm not going to turn it for now. I'm going to have to find out exactly what these are meant to do. They got numbers. It says 3388, and then so it looks like, wow. Does that one say the same? 33. I think that says the same. That looks like 3588. Anyway, we'll have to have a play around with those at another time and see if it does anything. There you go. That's what that looks like. Let's put it back together. See what it sounds like. Again, we've been listening to it, obviously. I think by now you probably know what it sounds like, and you've probably seen it. I mean, I haven't edited it yet, so who knows, but I think probably we have heard it. But the fact is, I haven't actually recorded that bit yet, so anything could happen. Get rid of this light now. Right, let's get on with it. Okay, let's face it, we all knew there was only one way this was going to end. And here it is. I bought it. I couldn't not. I couldn't not buy it. Here it is. The very same guitar. There you go. I now have a Japanese Tokai. And this is next week's film. We'll review it properly. We'll take it apart. And we'll plug it in and play it. I would say properly, but you never know. There you go. Couldn't help it. That's what happens, isn't it? You know. Thanks for watching. I hope that was fun, enjoyable, interesting, entertaining. I hope it was something anyway. Thank you very much for joining us, and come back next week and we'll have a play with this. Cheers. See you then, Hope. Ta-da.